Dennis, and good morning, everyone. And our guests today are Steve Hodges, Vice President of Human Resources at Regional West Medical Center. Dan Anderson is here from the Hampton Inn, and we're going to talk about a Global Leadership Summit that's coming up Thursday and Friday, August 11th and 12th, over at the Hampton Inn. And Steve, why don't you just give us a rundown of exactly what we're talking about when we talk about a Global Leadership Summit?
Sure, will do, Kevin. The summit is an event that started back in 1995 in Chicago, and originally was a conference that was put on for local church leaders. And as that program developed and grew, there was a vision for that to become broader than just church leader training. And so in the intervening years, there's been development of the summit and its breadth and scope, to where now there's over 185 locations throughout the U.S. that on the 11th and 12th of August will be participating live via satellite transmission in this conference. And there's a significant lineup of speakers. There's an opportunity for church leaders, business leaders, others in the community, even just individuals who are interested in developing their leadership skills, to come together, receive training, and grow and develop as a result of participating in this.
All right, and this is all based out of a church in Chicago, right?
Yeah, correct. Willow Creek Church, and Willow Creek also has, I guess, a sister organization called Willow Creek Association that is an affiliation of churches throughout the country, actually around the world, and so that they provide some of the technical support and so forth. The leader of Willow Creek Church, Bill Hybels, is the lead coordinator and presenter for the summit. Does a lot of introductions, actually shares a message himself, but coordinates all that. And the association is churches like Monument Bible Church here in Scottsbluff is a member, as well as others, I believe. But around the country, churches who have that affiliation get to take advantage of things like this Leadership Summit.
Okay. Now this will be over at the Hampton Inn, and maybe we'll just briefly talk to Dan here. How did you guys get involved in this? It's been now at the Hampton Inn for a few years, right?
Yeah, and I attended a Leadership Summit satellite location in the Denver area about 6 years ago, and just tremendously changed my life, literally, in a lot of ways. And so I started going, and then Steve came with me in one of those years. And through our association with Willow, they offered us the opportunity to do it locally. And we really wanted to do it at a neutral site, and so we approached the Hampton Inn. Last year was the first year we did the live satellite feed, so that it would just really appeal to a broad base of people to come, and they just do a great job over there with the hospitality, and because lunch is provided in the conference costs and all that, so that's how that got started.
All right, well, that's great. And like you said, you went, how many years ago was it?
6 years ago, yeah. And one of the focuses, they have different focuses in the conference. They have a social sector, educational sector, and then of course leadership in business or church. And one of the sections just really challenged me about, I started thinking, what's my role to help those who are impoverished in our world? And it was just clear as day. I just felt like, well, I can do one thing, I can adopt a child internationally. And so long story short, that happened, and we have a little girl from Guatemala now, so that's how it literally changed my life.
Yeah. So yeah, it changed your life significantly.
Yeah,
I'm
no
sure.
kidding, no kidding. Yeah.
I'm sure. So and this isn't necessarily, people should not think like Steve said, it started out maybe as training for pastors, but that's part of the focus, but not the entire focus.
Absolutely,
this, right?
and they have a lineup of speakers, and some of them are church leaders or ministry leaders. But then like this year, I'm really looking forward to the CEO of Starbucks who's coming, who's one of the business presenters, and so it's really evolved to include a really business focus as well. How do you lead in your place of business? And I think anybody's a leader in their place of business to some degree. And so a lot of the companies send teams around the U.S. as part of their annual training and investments in their leadership teams.
Okay. All right. Steve, we'll get back to you. I guess, when I look at this, we're maybe doing this on a lot smaller scale with the Leadership Scottsbluff program that we have here, where people get to go through that program to become leaders in our community and maybe sit on boards and stuff like that. And maybe this is part of what some of those people, if you're interested in doing something like that, maybe this is part of what you need to attend, right?
Yeah, that's a good observation. All I got to clarify, I actually had the chance a year ago to present to leadership Scottsbluff, and the caliber of speakers for this presentation is much greater than it was in English. But yeah, that whole program is about, on a more local basis, exposing folks to leadership practices and skills and how they can be applied in the Panhandle. This would be like a 2-day intensive about that, where there's a lot of information about general leadership skills presented by just an incredible slate of speakers. But the ultimate goal is the same, and that is to provide people with skills so they can do a better job in their roles, whether it's a business leader, a church leader, or just as an individual who's involved in activities in the community.
Yeah. Now you have some other. You mentioned the folks from the president and CEO of Starbucks Corporation, Howard Schultz, but you have some other folks from all around the country here that are going to be some of the speakers. You had Tony Dungy, the former coach of the Indianapolis Colts last year, right?
Yeah, Tony did a great presentation. Seth Godin is for individuals who are more tuned to the internet, is a pretty well-known blogger, also an author, does a lot speaking about leadership skills. Henry Cloud, I had the opportunity to hear him in person a couple years ago at a conference I was at. He's, again, a psychologist, but talks about motivational issues and employee relations. The speakers are addressing a number of topics, and the listing here includes values-based leadership, leading in tough economic times, which we were talking about a minute ago, is our whole world these days.
We could get these guys maybe to get in and talk to Congress, huh? That'd be a good idea.
That'd be a good 2 days for that. But talking about the power of humility, education reform, being a leader of action, and the sub-theme for the Leadership Summit has been and continues to be to lead where you are. And so it is, Dan made the point, it's leadership skills that you can apply in any setting, and again, not just for formal leaders, church pastors or CEOs or managers, but other individuals, including on a personal level with family or other activities.
Yeah. All right, we'll take a 30-second break here and explain how you can become involved in this Leadership Summit and attend right after this.
I forgot to mention you that, and I apologize, we have a couple passes if you want to give away as a call-in or something that we could do. If not, that's okay.
We could do that, I guess.
It's up to you.
You want to maybe alert Rob that we're going to have some people calling in, so we can maybe grab the phones.
And we just need all their personal information to register.
Okay.
Email, phone
personal
number,
information, registration, that kind of stuff. All right, just found out maybe later on in the at the very end of this, we might even be able to give a couple of passes out to this summit, so be ready for that. Don't call us now. I'll let you know when to do that. Okay. But Steve, kind of tell me how folks can get involved in this, what the cost is for this Leadership Summit, and how you can get involved.
Okay. As you mentioned already, the summit is on the 11th and 12th of August. The hours are 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Hampton Conference Center. And for anyone who might be out of the area who's interested in attending, the Hampton is also providing a special rate that evening, the 11th, if folks want to stay overnight. To register, the easiest way is to go online at www.willowcreek.com/summit. willowcreek.com/summit. And there's online registration there. There's a way to specifically identify Scottsbluff as the location and so forth. The registration fees actually vary. There's a range of fees depending on timing of that, when a person has registered, and affiliation. And so obviously folks that are part of the Willow Creek Association have a rate that's discounted slightly, but for the most part folks can register and find out where they fit in that range of rates, somewhere between about $85 and as much as $300, depending on when they register. They can find that information out on the site. Locally, they can contact Virginia Monument Bible Church at 308-632-4099, or they can send an email to summit at summit@monumentbiblechurch.com. That's summit@monumentbiblechurch.com for information locally or for contact locally to find out about it. We would encourage, we had about 100 people attend last year. Our goal this year is to double that. We would like to have people register sooner instead of later. And so if there's any questions, they can contact Virginia at that number.
Okay, and if a business wants to purchase a seat at this summit, they can have various people from their business. For example, several people go to a couple of speakers and then go back to work, and some other people come in and take that seat, so several people can attend at one time.
Yeah, we've talked about that just to help build attendance and help spread the message about the summit and the benefit that it can have. And so, yeah, if timing is available, if a business can't afford to have a person gone 2 full days, that ticket or that seat can be purchased and shared within that business. We want to be careful about that and minimize it and have it be legitimate for a business and some of their scheduling needs, but we can do that.
All right. Real quick, some of the sponsors of this, maybe we ought to give that to Dan. He was kind of providing me a list here earlier. We'll let him run down some of the people that are sponsoring this.
Yeah, we have a group of churches in the valley called Valley Evangelical Pastors Fellowship, and that comprises about a dozen churches who are participating in sponsoring this. And then also some local businesses we really want to thank, and several of these have attended in the past couple of years. Mark Gillum with Floyd's Service. The Star Herald's going to be providing some ads for us. Walmart is helping us out with a scholarship this year. Of course, you guys at KNEB and KCMI here locally, Jolliffe Capital, and obviously the Hampton Inn, and also Dara Lewis at Bytes Computers. And so got a broad level of sponsorship, which we're very grateful for.
Yeah, you do. All right, once again, the summit's August 11th and 12th, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Hampton Inn. And you can register here locally at 632-4099 or at summit@monumentbiblechurch.com, or you can register online also at www.willowcreek.com/summit. All right, and here's your chance to get there. We got a couple of passes available, so if you want one of those passes, be the first 2 callers at 632-KNEB, 632-KNEB. Give us a call, and you can get yourself a pass to this Leadership Summit coming up on August 11th and 12th. Guys, thanks for coming in.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you guys.
All right.